I'm John Crow. I graduated in 1962. I actually came to North Carolina State in 1955. And first couple of years here, I drew cartoons for the technician. And some of those cartoons are in our booklet now. They went back and got those because I did them for the 25th reunion booklet. And so they've resurrected a bunch of wolf cartoons. Now, this probably needs to have the children leave the room when I talk about this, but one of the things, we were able in those days to draw original cartoons only for special occasions because it cost to have those printed. They would get from some national syndicate, the technician would cuts that could be printed very easily, but if you did original artwork, you had to send that copy down to the Raleigh Times, and they would make a lead cast of it and print it. So it was expensive. We used to have to sell ads for the technician, and I did that for a number of the restaurants and all, and I drew cartoons for it. Well, the events that we could do this for were mainly homecoming and when we played Carolina. So I remember one particular occasion when we were playing Carolina, I drew this cartoon of a wolf eating the bones of a ram. And this is where the children need to cover their ears. I put underneath there, tuck the far heels. Well, it made it through the censors, and it came out in the paper. Monday, two men came to my dorm room and escorted me up to the dean's office in Holiday Hall. And I thought I was going to be expelled for that. I can remember now standing in Dean Cloyd's little small room, and that's where he would listen to excuses that people had. And I think you were allowed 3 unexcused cuts, or you would fail the course. And he would, if you went over that, you'd have to go up and stand before him and tell him what reason, and if he believed you, then he would excuse that. Well, he was also sort of like Tom Stafford now, Dean of Student Affairs. He was not happy at all about that. He said, "Do you have any idea how many parents read this magazine or newspaper?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Where are you from?" And I told him, "Lincoln County." He said, "Where is Lincoln County?" I said, "It's beyond Charlotte, about 30 miles. He said, "I'm just this far from sending you home with all your things." And he sat there a few minutes, and I figured I was going to get expelled. But he said, "All right, you're dismissed. I don't ever want to see anything like that again." And I turned around and left. But I think I heard laughter after I left in that room. In fact, I was told later that they talked about that for a long time in Holiday Hall. So I guess that's one of the stories that really stands out in my mind more than any of the others. But many of the same things. I remember as a freshman having to qualify for the swim test. If it was a requirement that you be able to swim, or you couldn't graduate. Now, I don't think that's the case now, but you had to be able to swim or you could not graduate. And the way they tested the freshmen was to line them up naked in the deep end, and they had to swim to the shallow end without any bathing suit. And that's, the people that are here will remember that. I remember that especially. The only time we could use bathing suits was if you took life-saving and you had to do those carries. Well, they would let you put on a bathing suit then. And then later on, when they built the new gym, they had green and red and black and yellow old bathing suits that you could use, and they would drip and drag and all that, but at least we had suits then at that time. So that, and many other memories that would bore you to death for me to tell you. But anyway, I apologize if that's too X-rated, but it is true, and it did happen. And I'm also responsible for the Tuffy wolf, really, not the one that you see now, but I drew the wolf head when I was in high school. I went to Lincolnton High School, and our mascot was the Lincolnton Wolves. And I drew, of course, I was on the school newspaper and drew the wolf. Well, when I came here, I drew it too, because here's the wolf. And I was pretty good at it. But Bryce Younts later would take that wolf and get a professional artist that worked for the Raleigh Times, Bill Ballard, I believe was his name, who later came here and worked for the technician as the artist in charge of art and layout and all. He took the head, cleaned it up, made it look a lot better, and then put a body on it, and that's the strutting wolf that you see. So those are my stories, and thank you for letting me have time to do that.